well as also strengthening our meditation and our, again, practice. Is just a really wonderful time, wonderful moment to be together in this beautiful country, in beautiful places, in beautiful area of the temple. I'm very grateful, thankful all of you be here together with us again with practice. And then as you all know, this time we strengthen our practice, meditation, and also named as known as the Windhorse energy, raising of the Windhorse energy. This Windhorse energy practice is generally very, very important in the Buddha's teaching, taught, and as well as very much highlighted by the great master, Padma Samye Ling. And then all those great masters, one after another, every great teacher, and including, as we know, the great, our teacher, Rinpoche is also always kind of focused on doing every moment or every session that he do these practices, he activated with his practices, even every end of the session, you know, or mostly end of the sessions, he called flagellos. These flagellos, one way is fun in a kind of very casual, but it's also casual, same time it's very deep meaning of the raising up this positive energy. La is the Tibetan word which means divine. The divine quality with energy is our vitality of the Buddha nature. That is what really raising up. And Jalo is the Tibetan word which means victorious. So victorious to the positives. And commonly that is what is. But the great Master Rinpoche, and as well as in Khenpo himself always, this Jalo means many levels, but deep down it means our courage, commitment, confidence, and with together with this, the beautiful inner shining quality that we all inherited, which is our own beings, our unique quality inherited in the Buddha nature, or which is Buddha nature known as. That is the what really brings up. That is the glorified. Because this is not glorified. This Buddha nature is hidden, this positive energy is hidden with the so many turbulence of all the emotions and habit is really dimmed in ourselves. Then what is? Externally we feel very discouraged, disappointment, and kind of like not going well every day alone. And then we feel so kind of bad, weak, and disappointment. And then also losing our confidence. And then kind of not good everything around us. And this not good, that not good. And then deep down, eventually it returns back to ourselves. We begin to blame it to ourselves. All those happen because we didn't glorify our potential, our goodness quality of the inherent, this beautiful. Oh, this is good. Thank you. Yeah, that. Yeah, put this. Okay. We just that's good, thank you. So therefore, this is what we are raising up this Windhorse energy. This is, and the wind is very important. Again, every time when we practice, always you heard karmic wind, wisdom wind. Wind is really so important. I mean, this actually in the Buddha's teaching and in the higher teaching of the Vajrayana teaching mentioned this like the subtle wind and consciousness. That is what is moving forward, force. It moves from life to life. This consciousness moves with wind energy. Wind energy. And that is connected to the most subtle wind wisdom energies. And then because of that, we have all these wind qualities, 5 principal winds, and then 5 sub-branch wind, which is in Buddha teaching mentioned or in a Tantra mentioned. And then external, this wind is a big major force to move, shifting, renewing the energy of an external level. This wind is true. But inwardly, this wind is so important. So important. Now, this wind lead to the samsara, wind lead to the nirvana. Wind is as often they use the metaphor as like horse or like vehicle that lead every direction. So when we redirect this wind energy, and at the same time that momentum and we use this energy, then it really makes everything so bright and important. For those reasons, the wind horse, that's what called the wind horse practices. That's it. So therefore, wind is so important and so special to use this. And then this time we're using this wind energy as a raising wind horse energy, which is in Tibet called the lungtam, and which is again, which we use the scholar, the mantra, intention, and idea, and then external support of the wind, all that bring up this glowing, what's called this name?
Billowing?
Blowing the wind, but what it does, that is external. But innerly, our vitality of all the energies begin to grow. And our energies then in the Buddha's teaching, there's 5 different wisdom energies. Those 5 wisdom energies are reflected in the form of colors. Those are the white, yellow, red, blue, green. Those are named. So you're using those external, the circumstances, interdependent coordination systems, and that reflecting to the inwardly, and then re-strengthening this beautiful energy, and physically energy, and then it goes to deep down to the Buddha nature, is brightening up our energy, and then it brings, brings our energy, confidence, and then our courage, confidence, commitment, our love, kindness, understanding, all those really comes very strongly. And with that reflected externally, also the circumstances are really changing, shaped. It created, or it brings up the beautiful, favorable circumstances and conditions, so we can have good fulfillment. Also in a worldly level, everything comes so nicely, beautiful, good health, joy, peace, happiness, prosperity, kind of friendship, everything kind of comes nice. And even the difficult comes, it kind of we have some skills and method that we're not crushed by these circumstances. And rather, it ignited our courage and commitment, glorified that. All this happens. So this is what really it means, this wind horse energy. This is something so special. And then in the alternate, when you ask from great masters what to need to do, and ask in the Tibet, they do a lot also sometimes, on what's called divinations. Divinations, and when you ask the welfare of your lives and the situation, you do they will do the divination. When they do divinations, then also there's a lot of things they always say, you need to raise up the wind horse energy. You raise up the prayer flags and so forth. And then they do 2 or 3 prayer flags, 4 prayer flags. But here we do so many prayer flags. So it's really we all join together, bring up this energy, wind horse energy, all these beautiful vitality qualities. It's very, very special to do. And that we do within, such as practice of the mantra of Gurupema Sambhava, and white umbrella, or the Tara, or such as then the Kesa, and as well as then such as Jamsi Tsemo Kungi, which is victor banner of that will defeat all the negative forces, so forth. This is all so special practices. So therefore, it is really very special to do this. And then conjunction this we are doing this time is with the white umbrella. Again, white umbrella practice is so that you all know. I think many of you already heard. Is very special practices. And actually white umbrella is the emanation of Tara, or Tara is the emanation of the white umbrellas. And in the teaching said, the Buddha Shakyamuni, when he gave particularly this white umbrella teaching, he was in the Tushita heaven, exactly in front of where the Indra lives, in a way his park or garden. Buddha is residing in that beautiful places, with many Sangha members, such as monks and nuns, and bodhisattva, and many gods' names. All they are there. And that moment, then Buddha entered, such as a samadhi, known as then that behold of the deep meaning of the crown chakra. And the crown chakra meditation, the Buddha entered in that chakra, and that moment, then sub-echoed the whole teaching of the white umbrella from the crown chakra. And all that teaching came the white umbrella teaching. In this white umbrella teaching is then known as like as in here is teaching said. I mean, the sutra is called white umbrella that defeated all the negative forces and as well as reverse all the bad circumstances to the favorable conditions. And that is the title of the sutra of the Buddha when he entered in the Koran Chakra meditation status. So that is what the teaching is. And this means that defeated all negative forces. And again, what is negative forces? There is external negative forces and then inner negative forces. External negative forces, such as often known as all the bad circumstances, externals, that is visible and tangible ways, intangible ways. Those are known as intangibles. Untangible obstacles as related with humans, animals, fires, or the four elements, fire, water, winds. Those are the tangible obstacles. Intangible obstacles, such as invisible beings. We have some kind of thought of the invisible beings, like spirit, what I think in the Western language, spirit, all the negative, such as a ghost, or some kind of invisible beings, they're making some obstacles. Generally, in the Buddha's teaching, human being is one of the beings among the 6 realms. There is many other beings, and those are known as such as hunger ghosts and asuras, and as well gods. And many times those are invisible beings are connected with sometimes hunger ghosts, or could be asuras. Anyway, there is in the teaching said there is many also kind of invisible beings. And those invisible beings not necessarily always makes us trouble to us. But however, sometimes we human beings are also went on their ways, or we did their kind of made some obstacles and some kind of hindrance to them, and then they react to and they make some obstacles, and then it make them uncomfortable, and then become maybe more obstacles to us, affect more us than to them immediate levels. But generally in the Buddha's teaching often said, and teaching of the Guru Padma Samye Ling, that we can make a lot of obstacles to them generally, more we can make obstacles than they us eventually. Because human beings are very much powerful generally with the many different karmic conditions, and such as well as also many different, they have some positive energies and such as the teachings and the practices. If we didn't use the right way those teachings and practices with right motivation, that really could make big interference. And then sometimes we make also kind of a little bit more only thinking of us and not thinking of others or them. Then we make kind of very big unbalanced and uncomfortable to them. And such as, for example, in Guru Padma Samye Ling teaching, said even those great Tetons, when they reveal the Dharma teachings, and always in the teaching said, we should not disturb those invisible beings. All those invisible beings who are residing that area where they discover the Dharma teaching, we should make very special ceremony, offerings, and kind of respect to those allowance to discover those Dharma teaching from the earth or from the light or from the Rocky Mountains. And then after they discover the Dharma teachings, even they have to put something back there so it is really balanced, they replace the back with the ceremonial. Those all teachings said, and those are so important to maintain the intact of the energy of the element and the earth element, and that then immediately affect to the water, fire and wind element, and then down to the space energy that teaching said. And these days, for example, Khenpo always said that too. Many times he said, and I heard from other great masters, these times modern technology become so strong and they just kind of without consideration or thinking of anything, and they just using as much as they can with all the elements, in particular earth and water and so forth, and they disturbed really that. And I think that's maybe the one reason there's so many natural disasters are coming one after another, that maybe is not used to be maybe 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I mean, or that time maybe we don't have exactly this news coverage, and that because that's why we don't have. But now there's so many things happening one after another, and this all kind of disturb the element. I think that's really, according to Dharma teaching and the teaching of Guru Padma Samye and then Buddha teaching, that's what I think is really happening. And therefore, again, so for those all reasons, if we do this, for example, this prayer flags, this raising up the Windhorse energy, it's not just we're raising up the Windhorse energy. Ourselves, every time our practice is connected with the bodhicitta. And that's the teaching of the Buddha and Guru Padma Samye, all the great masters. When we raise up this Windhorse energy, when we raise up these prayer flags, when it is blowing in the air to every different directions, it carries that our beautiful motivation with the blessings of the Buddhas, mantra, and their meditation, according to their instruction, it really spread out all over. And then, of course, it effort to us to more. And so it removes our obstructions, obstacles, disease, sicknesses, is bring our beautiful, all those energy, I mentioned that. So this is the generally very brief kind of meaning of this Windhorse energy practices. And then it's also connected to the white umbrella, as I said. White umbrella, it is many of those prayer flags here, it's white umbrella practices.